welcome to Real and Raw. It is Sunday, June 9th, 2024, and we're back up here to the property. It's about 88 degrees, starting to cool down a little bit, but wow, we have got some real good growth going on in our garden. So take a look. Okay guys, this is our onion bed, and you can clearly see that a lot of these onions are starting to be ready to harvest. What you want to look for is you want to see if there's any that the stalks have fallen over, turned brown. And you can clearly see that these onions are pretty big, especially that one. Wow, pretty hard, pretty big, pretty hard. Two next to each other. And so what I'm looking for is, you see how this is just kind of laying over like that? These are ready to harvest in probably another week. And I'm pretty excited because I've never seen them this big. So you can see my shadow. Sorry about that. Anyway, what I'm going to do, see how these are laying down here like this? I'm just going to continue to, whoops. That might even be ready. Wow. Wow. I guess that's ready because that didn't even bend over. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to bend these over. Some of these like that. Probably going to wait on some of them another week. We're going out of town. And so I want to bend these scapes over like this. Let's see how I'm just kind of laying them down to kind of get them to be, oh, that broke. Oops. See, these are pretty dried out. These are all really good. Probably ready. I need to maybe get those out. Anyway, you can see I laid these down, and that's on purpose. Because then what's going to happen is they're going to start to die. They're going to start to die. These stalks. And I don't want them getting like, you know, too bad in the sun, but I want them laying down. So you can clearly see that a lot of these have started forming the thick skin on them. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to wait another week and a half, and I'll be back to harvest them. So I am really pleased this year because of the size. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay some of the leaves that I gather around here on top, so not to put too much heat on them over the next week. Alright, so we're going to move over to our garlic. Okay, I'm in front of my garlic, and you can see that quite a bit of weeds have grown in here, and I've been staying on top of it, so it just fascinates me on how fast this weeds up. But they look good. So what you want to look for is you want to look for this kind of curlicue scape formation. And then you want to go ahead and you want to cut that off. So I'm going to go through here. There's another one here, and you can see how it's curled. So I'm just going to go ahead, and there's another one there. So I'm going to go all the way down. You can kind of see them and get those scapes cut off. And then the next step is I'm just going to watch to wait and see when there are 4 leaves that are dry. So 1, 2, or dead I should say, 3, and then this is starting to die. So probably another week and a half for these as well. And there's only a few that are like this. There's another one in there. So I'm not quite ready, but it usually takes 8 to 9 months before you harvest your garlic, and that's what it's been. We're getting into our 9th month, I believe. I'll have to look back, but we've got these here, and then of course we've got, this is our Russian red hardneck garlic. So there you go, November 9th. So, oh, you know what? It's only been 7 months. So, but yeah, you can, that's not one. So there's the hard neck. And then the soft necks should be larger. Well, here we go. So take a look at the size. That's decent. I am happy with that. But we're looking for, so we got 1 leaf, 2 leaf. This is kind of dying. We want to have 4 leaves. And you really don't want to do that any time before that. What's going to happen too is when I come up here and I cut this scape, I'm going to put the energy back down into the scape, through the stalk, down into the garlic bulb, and it'll even get hardier. It'll even get more hardier. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the progress of these being ready to harvest in the next, like I said, week and a half. So yeah, we're probably going to not harvest these until July, it looks like. But they're moving along. And then we've got these over here. Which again, just have a bunch of weeds. And these are the soft neck garlic. These were planted same day, November 9th. All right, you can see we put our mat down and planted all of our tomato seedlings, and they're doing really well. This is a different variety that aren't as tall, but that's because they're a different variety. So there you have it. We got 3 rows of them, looking good. All right. Okay, guys. So now we're coming over to the raised bed tomatoes that were planted, and they are huge. So this is just, I believe, 2 plants. One's a baby Roma tomato, and this was planted on May 3rd. And it's so big, it's kind of grown back into the ground. So we've got to figure out a way to trellis this. And then I don't see the other variety.
All the same.
I thought they were 2 different ones. Can't believe I didn't label the other one. There's no way. All right, well, once I get these trellised up, Andy's gotten some really good trellises online. So we're going to go ahead and get these in some type of better position to start to fruit. And we'll show you some other tomato plants that we put in. Okay, so what we decided to do, I saw this online. Because it's all centered in the middle, we just put this hog wire over it. And the tomatoes should, as I train them, grow up the sides. And then you should just be able to like pick them real easily like that all the way around. So I hope that that works. We'll see. Okay guys, we're just sitting here cooling off a little bit and just wanted to show you our amazing potatoes. Doing really well. We've got some nice blooms on them. So we're really excited to see, because we've got 2 different varieties in there, I think. We've got, so our granddaughter helped us plant these. She'll be very excited. And we're looking at the white Kennebec potatoes, and these were planted on April 27th. And then the red Pontiac. I think there's just 2 varieties in here. So really happy with the yield as far as the growth. We'll see what the potatoes look like. But I think that this planter bed really did well this year. I'm glad we did that. Okay, so this is about the location that you want to cut your scape off. So just kind of like measure it. Where this ends is usually where I cut it off. So we're just going to snip it off. And by the way, I'm sure you all know this. Where'd it go? Here it is. These make for amazing ingredients to different recipes. I'll try and link a couple down there just to give you some ideas, or maybe just list them. I don't know if I'll put the recipe, but I might just list the different recipes. Do your own research on that. But this flavor is amazing. I don't know if you can hear me. This flavor is amazing. Right here. Look at these. Wow. These look fantastic. All right. Alright guys, I think that this is going to be a wrap. Just kind of getting, it's cooled off now, so I thought I'd just kind of train the tomato plant on this big trellis. So I'm pretty excited to see how that works out, with them going up the sides and then just literally like reaching in and picking them off of the trellis hoop. So this is pretty cool. This is our toothache plant, and what you do is you just take that flower, and I'm not sure exactly when, I got to do a little bit more research, but you take that flower and rub it on your tooth area where you're in pain, and that works to help with the soothe the pain. And our cucumbers over here. Got another tomato plant over there. Our blackberries are coming in. Had a couple the other day. Look at them, pretty big. Had a couple of them the other day, and not quite there yet, but getting close. And then we have a ton of our elderberry plantings that are growing over here in buckets. Need to get those situated. Got a few blueberries coming in. And we got a, it's funny, these volunteer tomato plants. I love it. And it's like growing right here against the trellis. So pretty cool. I'll take you over up on our higher ground and show you what we got going on over there. So here we've got more comfrey coming in, more blooms. This is the second time I think this has bloomed, but it's massive. And it just really does well for our soil around here. As you can see, our elderberry bush is growing nicely. Got some nice blooms on there. We got a few more over here that are just kind of stuck in there. A little smaller, but this one was from last year, and it's pretty hardy. I'm very pleased with that. So we got another comfrey over here coming in. And then we have a few more tomato plants over here. Some more comfrey. Here's our fig tree. This year is looking really good. You can see the figs. It's going to start to fruit in the next couple months. So I'm pleased with that. You want to tell us about your pond?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
This is our pond. This is, we had a burn pit here to get rid of a bunch of branches and stuff on some trees that we had taken down in December.
Mm-hmm.
And so, after we burned, this whole area was piled with stuff this tall. We burned all that, we took all the stuff out, all the charcoal and the ash and so forth, and we've used it in all the beds here to amend the soil. We dug it back out again, hoping that we were going to be able to take down a few more trees and burn again before the burn ban goes into place at May 1st, and we didn't get it done. But we had some rains, and some rains filled up the hole. So it's kind of exciting that it holds water. And now we haven't had really any rain now in the last 3 weeks, so it's gone down, a good 10 inches or so. But I tell you, the frogs love it. Although I think the mama frog got eaten. It's got tadpoles in there, lots of them. I think they're becoming less and less. I think the birds are eating them, somebody's eating them. But there's still a bunch of them in there. From what I understand, they're still less than 5 to 8 weeks old because they don't have the legs yet starting to grow. They just have the tail. So there is some algae starting to grow in there, which is good because that's what they're eating. I have thrown in some comfrey and some Swiss chard and stuff like that for them to eat, but I don't think they're ready to eat that yet. I think that's after they get their legs. But what's really loving this pond are the dragonflies. And I'm loving to see the dragonflies because they eat like 1,000 mosquitoes every day. So it's kind of what we're doing, just trying to have this habitat a little bit diversified. so that nature can take care of itself, hopefully, without so much input from us, the way God intended. So there's also a lot of different beneficial bees and stuff flying around here getting water. They're getting mud. I guess the mud dobblers are getting mud around here to make their nests. So, which I think those are good. I think I don't know, I don't remember exactly, but I think some of these wasps will inject their larvae into caterpillars, and then it kills the caterpillars. So,
How many tomato plants do we have?
I'm not sure.
It's going to be
bunch.
like 50.
I think so. Yeah, at least 50.
So up here, Andy has held our potatoes. I don't know which ones these are. Do you know?
I have it written down on a piece of paper somewhere, but I don't remember. I think these might actually be just russets from the grocery store. And they're doing amazing. We've got a thing of it here. Now this one over here I think is a mix. I think the one end down there that's not blooming yet is one variety, like a red or something, but these ones that are blooming white I think are the russets on the right side.
So we got more tomatoes down here.
More tomatoes. These are pole beans here.
More tomatoes up on that hill, some real big ones.
And then there's zucchini in those holes and cantaloupe in those holes up there.
We got some more holes over here that have been burned in. And we did some direct sowing. Andy just did the direct sowing. Got our, is that our, what tree is that?
Huh?
What tree is that? What
That's
fruit
an
tree?
apple.
Okay.
I'm not sure which one. This
Okay.
is the pink lady here. The one that's really skinny looking because the deer like to eat on it.
Nice.
So it's having a hard time getting going.
Okay.
So
anyway, a lot of potatoes up here as well, and our potatoes are just doing phenomenally well this year. I'm just hoping there's potatoes in the ground. Plants look
Yeah.
great, but you never
it's
know
like
until
Easter.
you
Anytime.
harvest them.
Oh,
So,
no.
all right, guys. So that's, I think, gonna wrap it up. Andy did some, planted some banana trees that we had at our house. And we just decided to put them on the property to see if they do okay up here in a more northern location. Not too much northern. It's considered what, 7B?
Still the same considered. So, but the main reason for the bananas is because they produce a lot of great foliage for making fertilizers, compost teas and stuff. The insects don't like the bananas for some reason. They don't. There's nothing chews on the leaves. So when you use that in your compost teas, it kind of gives off the smell of the banana, and the insects won't come near it. So it acts as a natural insecticide.
Well, similar to the...
At least that's the theory.
what leaves did we put on top of our beds? It wasn't banana tree leaves. It was was it comfrey?
Comfrey?
Yeah, it was comfrey. So it kind of works similar, where you can use these banana leaves as a decomposing mulch, and it's nice to put these down on top of your beds if they're getting too much sun. It's a nice kind of shade option. So yeah, it's coming together up here. This is a elderberry, and we have I don't know, every time I come here there's so many plants, I forget what we put in here. These are our sunflowers that are growing up nicely and should be here by late summer. Got some more tomato plants here. And we have some additional potato plants over here. The deer, like Andy said, are enjoying our sunflowers. Up here, it's very green, but this is supposedly going to all grow in to wildflowers. Don't know exactly what this is going to look like. Some are starting to come out, but our granddaughter planted these seeds, and really she just kind of like threw them down, spread them out, had fun with it, and we got a variety of things growing here, and we just don't want to touch it. because we don't know if any of these are the wildflowers. So it's really kind of cool to see it all come together. And then you probably saw in a previous video, these are our tomato plants that we had put in those holes, and they're growing up nicely. We just need to trellis them off. They're pretty big. And we had one that did not take. A weed came out of there. But for the most part, yeah, I think these tomato plants are gonna yield nicely some decent sized tomatoes. So Andy had just burned some holes in our tarp and put some seeds in there. So yeah, it's just kind of giving you an update. It's been a few weeks since we posted any videos. So yeah, it's nice to kind of spread it out a little bit up here on a higher ground. There's definitely more direct sun. So yeah, I'm excited to see what we yield this summer. All right, y'all, like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you on the next video.